Namaste, and I'm Jivasu from Dehradun. A microprotein of nature which doesn't even have a membrane precipitated a very big crisis in the world. It is a crisis of our identity at all levels. It is the crisis of the identity at the individual level, community level, religious level, national level, international level. Because identity gives us such a sense of power, and I will explain what identity is. But it gives us immense power. But that power only belongs to the subjective feelings of human world. It doesn't belong to nature. Nature doesn't have any conscious identity. So that is why Prime Minister thought, I'm such a powerful person, how I can get it? Got it. So thought the prince. So thought the very many nations. And so were thinking people of all religions, that they are the part of the God and they won't get it. All religions without exception, from east to west and south to north. But actually, lots of them got it. It is unprecedented in last 70,000 years of human history. Why 70,000 years? Because 70,000 years, what we call Homo sapiens now, developed cognitive abilities. Means we became more and more conscious. Although there were more catastrophic events before what we are facing now world over, but this is engulfing the whole world, nearly all countries. Nobody is spared, and it doesn't matter how strong identity they have. Now the question comes, what is identity? So we will take just for the individual. Identity is my story, the way I present it to the world. It is not my real story. It is a story which is created by multiple experiences, multiple pieces from my life. And because I want to show to the world who I am, not the real me, but in such a way that I will get praises and appreciations from others. So I will have a sense of increased self-worth, what we call self-esteem. So my identity is my parents and grandparents, achievement of my family, my wealth, my power in the world, my education, my prestige, my status, what I eat, how I dress, my religion, my faith, my knowledge, my degrees, the profession I practice, the kind of body I have. All this actually forms my identity. And this, as I mentioned, this identity truly doesn't belong to me. I borrow it and I continue with it because that becomes my reference point. If I fill up a form, I apply for job, I create a relationship. If I'm going to get married, I'm going to get job. Everywhere this story, my identity becomes a reference point. But what happens in this story, sometimes I may be lost thinking this is real. It is not, it is borrowed. But it is very important because that is how I function and connect in the world. So, what happens whenever there is this identity is in crisis, which is happening nowadays at all levels, as I explained, my story stop functioning in the same way as it used to function. Because through this identity, I gained so much power. I had a control over people, over goods, over things, over knowledge. But in this crisis, lot of those things are not working. And when my story, my identity is not working in the world, then what we experience is stress. So many of us are actually experiencing acute stress. It is very natural because so far I could fix things, I could pull the strings, I could change the things, but now we are locked. And it seems nothing is safe anymore. From top to the bottom, a little shaking of the finger of nature, and our world is changed. And that is the cause of stress. I don't control anymore those things which I used to control. My knowledge, my power, my family, my surrounding, my nations are not helpful. So that is what is identity crisis at personal level, because the way I used to function, I'm not able to, causing acute stress. There is a sense of chaos. Now the question is what I should do. Yes, still I can do something about it because this problem may go on for months, for years. We are not sure. So should I let things crumble and collapse, or I have some options and alternatives? Yes, we have. The first thing which we can do, there are two options here. So the first option is that if we could strengthen our identity, our sense of self, sense of I, so we could control those things which we can control. Certain things we cannot control, we must not try to, because if we try to control those things, we will be very anxious, we will be in despair. So I want to control those things which I can control. And what I can control is my own mind and body. Because ultimately, all identity formation happens through my body and mind. So mind body means my physical body, my emotions and feeling, and my thinking processes, my thoughts. So how I can control my body to regulate my life, to strengthen the sense of self, so I won't lose hope or control over situation. So in body, the most important is movement. If I'm grounded in body, I'm connected to my body, stress will be much less. Because this identity, if it is connected to the body, we cannot have serious mental illnesses. When the identity breaks down, not connected to the body, that result in anxiety, depression, despair, and even the most serious illness, because identity is the lid which keeps all that turbulence, turmoil of emotions which is going within me in check. And one hallmark of that is that we are connected to the body. So how to connect to the body? A lot of people are doing Tai Chi, yoga, gym, movement of all kinds. And the best one is a walk, indoor walk, 25 to 30 minutes of walk, brisk walk. And you can break it in 2 to 3 parts, 10 minutes each. That is the best. Other thing to ground into the body is that you massage your own body, or somebody could massage your body. So massaging crown of the head, you can massage your forehead, you can massage your chest, you can massage your belly, and you can massage your feet. And that will bring you into your body. Your identity will be strengthened, and your sense of despair and anxiety will diminish. Of course, you can hug yourself. Hugging yourself is very grounding also. So that is what we can do in order to strengthen our identity, the body, through the body. Now comes the emotions, feelings. Of course, to strengthen the identity, we have to connect to others, to our family members, talk to them, share, express. Don't isolate yourself. And if you are nobody around you, you can talk to yourself. You can talk to plants. You can talk to your gods and goddesses and angels and gurus which are in your mind. You can talk to the prophets. You can talk to the sky, the sun and the moon, the stars and the walls. Or you can divide yourself into two and talk to yourself. Because that is the emotional part of our identity which will be strengthened. Connecting to the others. And the third component is of thought. You can pick up any project. It may be computer, it may be writing, it may be planning, it may be story, anything. An intellectual project, because that will again make your identity strong. And one of the projects which you can do, which not many people do when everything is going on okay, is reviewing their life, making life's map. Take a huge chart, or take a wall, or make a collage, or you can write it in notebook that you were born in certain years, and then you were growing up, and you are here now in this moment. You took a long journey, and this long journey was with all kinds of ups and downs, sorrows and joy, and wonderful, and sometimes the events which were full of despair. Make a map of your life on a chart paper, anywhere you want. This will give you an idea how was your journey. It will be your true story. You will be able to review. And once you find in that story the problems, you want to correct them. Ask for forgiveness, forgive other people. And then also take this map to the future. It will be the review of your whole life. So Through these three means, the body, the emotions and feelings and thoughts, thinking, intellect, you can strengthen your identity to stay strong in this crisis. But if you feel you want to do more, then there are examples of people who allow their identity to crumble. And when that happens, that is the beginning of spiritual journey. Millions of people did it, but I will name two or three of them. One of them was Gandhi. Gandhi was isolated. He was in prison for so many years. And what happened? He allowed certain parts of the identity to crumble. And that is how he became finally a great Gandhi. Or think of Nelson Mandela. For more than 2 decades in prison, identity crumbled. And when he came out, he was a different man. When he went into the prison, he was quite violent. When he came out, he was a very non-violent person. And that caused reconciliation movement in South Africa. In the last one, I remember reading Viktor Frankl, a great German psychiatrist who was in concentration camp. And in that concentration camp, everything crumbled. But his spiritual journey began, and he wrote a beautiful book, Man's Search for Meaning. Strengthen your identity. One option. Let the identity crumble if you think you can stand it. In both ways, you are going to be benefited. In spite of all crises, you have options, you have choice. Best wishes to you. Thank you very much and namaste.